The arena in Hastinapura grows quiet for a moment that the Mahābhārata will not let go of. The princes have performed, Drona's students have shown their weapons, and Arjuna has dazzled the crowd. Then a stranger walks in, armored with a natural brilliance that no teacher gave him, wearing the divine kavacha and kundala, the chestplate and earrings of his solar birth, which the spectators cannot yet explain. He surpasses everything Arjuna has done. The crowd is stunned. And then comes the question that will define the rest of his life. Kripa, the preceptor, steps forward and asks the stranger to announce his lineage, because the rules of the arena require that men of equal rank compete against one another. The stranger, this is Karna, born of Kuntī and the solar deity Surya, abandoned in a basket on the Aṅga as an infant, raised by the charioteer Mahābhārata and his wife Radha, cannot answer. He knows only one name for himself, Sutaputra, son of a charioteer. It is Duryodhana who breaks the silence. He steps forward, and in front of the assembled court, the blind king Dhritarashtra, the citizens of Hastinapura, and Kuntī herself, who recognizes her son and says nothing, he anoints Karna as the king of Aṅga. The moment is narrated in section 3, chapter 293 of the Mahābhārata. The narrative verse, told by Vaishampayana to King Janamejaya, records, Sa jeshta putra, sutasya, vavrite angeshu viryavan. That eldest son, powerful, grew up in Aṅga, becoming known through his deeds. What the text is tracking is not simply a political transaction. It is the moment when a man who has been denied a name in the world is finally given one, and who gives it to him matters enormously to what follows. The Sanskrit term that anchors Karna's subsequent loyalty is kṛtajñatā. Kṛtajñatā, awareness of what has been done for one, literally, recognition of a benefactor's gift. The Mahābhārata is careful with this word. Kṛtajñatā in its healthy form is one of the pillars of Dharma. To forget a benefactor is a kind of moral blindness. But the epic is also interested in the shadow side of gratitude, the place where kṛtajñatā curdles into something the text treats as its own kind of blindness, an obligation so total that it swallows the very conscience that would otherwise judge the benefactor's actions. Karna walks toward that shadow from the evening of the tournament onward, and the Mahābhārata watches him walk without ever entirely condemning him for it. Because we should be honest about what the text also records. Karna is not a passive instrument of Duryodhana's will. In the Sabha Parva, during the dice game and its horrifying aftermath, Karna is among those who mock and humiliate the Pāṇḍavas and Draupadi most viciously. The scholar Alf Hiltebeitel notes that it is Karna's words, weaponized speech, that cut the Pāṇḍavas and Draupadi more deeply than almost anything else in that scene. Verses 3, 13, 113, and 593, 11 record how deeply those words landed. And yet, and this is the Mahābhārata being psychologically honest, verse 5, 139, 45 records Karna's own confession, preserved by Hiltebeitel, that he spoke those words to please Duryodhana, not from his own hatred alone. The text is showing us a man who has internalized his benefactor's cause so completely that he has begun acting against his own moral knowledge, and then regretting it in private. The Udyoga Parva, the Book of Effort, is where the Mahābhārata conducts its deepest examination of Karna. Kṛṣṇa, acting as pre-war ambassador, takes Karna aside. The text says that in the midst of all the princes and servants, the slayer of Madhu took Karna upon his car and went out of the city, and offers him everything. In section 5, chapter 140, Vasudeva speaks to Karna with careful precision. He invokes the Shastric category of the Kanina son, a child born of an unmarried woman who belongs by law to the man who weds her. He tells Karna that by this scriptural logic, he is the eldest son of Pandu. He is offering Karna not merely safety, but sovereignty, the eldest Pāṇḍava, king over all his brothers, with the Vrishnis recognizing him, with everything the world had denied him, now placed in his hands. The Ganguly translation gives us Krishna's words directly. Thou art therefore morally the son of Pāṇḍu. Come be a king, according to the injunction of the scriptures. Karna refuses. His refusal is not impulsive. It is not the refusal of someone who has failed to understand what is being offered. He understands completely. What Kṛṣṇa is offering him is everything the abandoned infant on the Aṅga was denied. And Karna turns it down because to accept it would require him to become a different person. One who discards Mahābhārata and Radha as his parents, who discards Duryodhana as his king and friend, who picks up a new identity constructed entirely by the terms of those who had previously excluded him. The Mahābhārata scholars' phrase for Karna's psychology here is dhirata, steadfastness, a settled quality of identity that refuses to dissolve under pressure. Karna is, in this reading, someone who does not discard identity after identity. He has decided who he is and who he loves, and he will not unlearn it because the moment is advantageous. Then Kuntī comes. She arrives at the riverbank, the Aṅga, where she had once set her infant child adrift, and she tells Karna who he is. She asks him to come to his brothers. In chapter 145 and 146 of the Udyoga Parva, Karna's reply is measured but final. The text gives us his words, "O mother, I was abandoned by thee as soon as I was born. This great injury, involving risk to life itself, that thou didst me, hath been destructive of my achievements and fame." He does not rage. He names what happened with the precision of someone who has carried the knowledge for a long time. And then, in an act that the epic presents as among the most quietly extraordinary things Karna does, he makes her a promise. He will not kill Yudhishthira, Bhima, or the twins. He will seek only Arjuna, so that she will always have 5 sons, either with Karna living or with Arjuna if Karna falls. There is something in that moment that speaks to anyone who has been asked by a parent, after years of absence, to rearrange the whole architecture of their life, to leave behind the people who are actually there, in the name of a biological bond that the parent chose not to honor. Karna honors the bond anyway, but on his own terms. He gives Kuntī something. He does not give her everything she asked for. Consider what this looks like from the inside of an ordinary life. A man in his 40s whose father left when he was 3, left without letters, without phone calls, and who was raised entirely by his mother's second husband. A man who worked long hours and never said much, but who showed up to every single school play, who taught him to drive in an empty parking lot on a Sunday morning. Now the biological father has reappeared and is asking for a relationship, invoking blood, invoking the word family. The man in his 40s understands what is being asked. He is not confused. He simply knows who his father is. He can be civil. He cannot pretend the parking lot on Sunday morning never happened. Karna fights. He is named 3rd Commander-in-Chief of the Kaurava alliance in the Karna Parva, the 8th of the 18 Parvas, covering days 16 and 17 of the 18-day war. He defeats 4 of the Pāṇḍava brothers, and keeping his word to Kuntī, spares each of them. Then comes the 17th day, and the wheel of his chariot sinks into the earth of Kurukṣetra. He climbs down to lift it. He calls to Arjuna. The text preserves his appeal in what is among the most cited passages of the Karna Parva. Bo Partha, Maheshwasa, Muhurtam Paripalaya. O great archer, son of Kuntī, wait for a moment while I lift this wheel from the ground. Thou art the greatest warrior in the world and righteous in conduct. Thou knowest the principles of righteous warfare. Therefore bear for a while. He is invoking Yuddha Dharma, the ethics of war. A kshatriya does not strike a man who is distressed and unarmed. And then Kṛṣṇa speaks from the chariot of Arjuna, in what the Karna Parva records at section 91. It is not gentle. By good luck it is, O son of Radha, that thou rememberest virtue. It is generally seen that they that are mean, when they sink into distress, rail at providence, but never at their own misdeeds. He names the dice game. He names Draupadi. He names every moment when Karna could have invoked Dharma and chose not to. The indictment is precise and it is devastating because it is accurate. What the Mahābhārata will not do is let either reading of Karna be the only one. He is someone capable of extraordinary loyalty and of active complicity in cruelty. Both are true simultaneously, and the epic holds them together without resolving the tension into a lesson. After his death, Kṛṣṇa and the assembled heroes honor Karna as a Satpurusha, a true and honest man, among the best of those who understand Dharma. The man who rebuked him at the wheel also honors him. This is not contradiction. This is the Mahābhārata being more serious about human character than any clean verdict would allow. The one thing this chapter offers to carry into your actual day is this: kṛtajñatā, gratitude for what someone did for you when no one else would, is one of the genuinely beautiful things the Mahābhārata names as part of a life lived with integrity. And the text is also watching, very carefully, the moment when that gratitude stops being a virtue and becomes the reason you cannot see what you are doing. You can love the people who found you in the river. You do not have to make their wars your wars. The distinction is quiet, and it is everything. Karna never found it. The sun set over Hastinapura the evening of the tournament, and he walked away a king, bound.